This is not for the faint of heart. If you want normal sounds, go somewhere else. And exciting news, I am teaching an 8-week online Ableton course where each week we break down a track by artists like Sophie, Arca, Bjork, Aphex Twin, etc. Hello, party people. Are you ready to do some sound design? Let's get a snare, a clap. I'm gonna go to warp and go to texture. Okay, so texture mode, it's a little bit like granular synthesis. We have grain size, we have flux, and what we really want to do is play around with the extreme values here. If we turn both of these all the way down, you can't really hear much. If we start to stretch this out, and how I've been doing that, rather than hitting ×2 or divide by 2, a lot of times I'm just taking the BPM and turning it all the way up. And let's listen now. Wow. And with grain size, literally go to your arrow keys and hit arrow up so you can do this by 1 increment. And you will get totally different things. With flux all the way up, a little bit more crunchy. And things get even crazier when you start to play around with the pitch. Okay. Wow, all the way down. That sounds great. What about all the way up? I love all the way up. Oh, some of that stuff is starting to sound so good. Now, I'm not trying to make like a particular sound. I'm just trying to make some like interesting sounds, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with them later, right? So you'll notice that grain size sounds kind of interesting when we move it around. If we go to envelopes, we can go to clip grain size. We just click and it will change down here, and then we can begin to move this around. Oh yes, and it works kind of weirdly. You want to turn grain size all the way up, and then the top here is 100% of whatever you have there. So we want... Okay, it's sounding kind of cool. Oh yeah, I mean, this is sounding great. And like, if we just put on OTT. Okay, now you may notice that drawing in these envelopes it's kind of annoying. And if I just use the mouse, I can get way cooler stuff. How can we get those results more quickly? So the key is going to be in resampling. And this is really the key to all of this. We're going to be resampling everything, and that is going to be what makes this awesome. So open up a new audio track below it, and you want to change that to resampling, and then hit record. And now we can start. Amazing. Amazing. That was great stuff. Now, the key thing is, when I have the loop bars on, I'm not overwriting stuff, right? If I take this out and I just extend it back, you will see I still have all of this info. Now, the key is, okay, just delete this now. Be destructive. Be destructive. The key thing now is that now I can do the same thing over and over again. So let's find a bit of this that we like. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Now, what's great is we can do the same thing. So we're gonna go back to texture mode, and let's try this out, see what happens. Really extend this. You could also hit shift, maybe just extend like that. And let's hit R to reverse. Okay, so maybe I'll try out some like slightly slower movements this time. So now I want to record some of the pitch stuff in. Okay, I think that's quite enough of that. Okay, now I'm not going to spend as much time on this part, but some of you may be saying, hey, that's all well and good, that's very crazy, but like, what can I actually do with that? So nice, easy, fun thing is, can use this as, go to our beats mode, change this to cycle forward, drop this down, Let's go to maybe 16ths. Can I get some interesting hats? Maybe if we turn these up. And again, you can resample yourself moving this envelope control down here. I really like putting it all the way up. Some really nice clicky stuff there. The other thing we can do is I literally never use like risers from a riser pack, because you can always just take some nice sound design bits and just use a fade in here. And what you can do here is on your keyboard, hold Shift Option and drag. I think it's just Shift on Windows. It's something slightly different, but I promise you can do this, and you can move and you can like audition different parts. So that's a lot of times what I'll do is if I want a little fill, I'll take the whole sound design file. I won't like go through and chop everything out. I am just going to take the whole file and stick it here, and then I can try out different little transitional sounds. Oh, okay, that's getting kind of cool. Down and up. You know, and then you can always hit Command J, and then, you know, keep messing with it, right? So similarly, I can kind of do the opposite thing, which is go and look for kind of specific hits, right? Right, so that could be a great way to start a little measure. Okay, so let me try and make something super fast. So I've made something very, very standard. And the question is, can we make this into something that kind of has an interesting flair just through these sound design bits? Okay, so is this good? Maybe not, but I want to remind you that this is just a clap and warp modes. That's it. No synthesis, no effects. I'll show you. On here, I have a side chain for the kick, and I have a low pass filter. That's it. The rest is just manipulation. So just to give you a little bit more inside this first bit, it's just a bit I found. Then we have this fade in. Now for this next bit, I do have a little bit of pitch automation. Here, I just, no tremolo, just manually chopped it up. And then at the end, just found another that I liked and added the fade. Then nice big pit where we have a pitch downwards, right? So you can see generally fading into the ends of bits, kind of pitch dropping down like a sub drop at the beginning. Right? And so then again, with this, you can just see I have these pitched all the way up. So I messed with texture mode a little bit more. I get so many people asking me like, oh, where do I start with sound design? And everyone wants to go and like, I don't know, like learn the science behind synthesis or whatever. And I'm like, no, just start with warp modes and mess around. That is really, you can get so far. And I genuinely, this is something I do so much in my own music.